Some of my people holding
Oh man.
on this podcast.
Once again, it's on right here. With Muddy Water. I forgot to ask you though.
I like that.
Is it anything you
My money, waters. I like that.
I see.
yeah.
I knew it was something special about this thing from the beginning. Yeah, for sure. That's why I stuck with it. Telling the truth, there's a certain level of pride that comes with this. So we gon' finish strong, proud, and resilient. This is muddy water. We keep it moving through the muddy water. Swerving hard through the muddy water. With a cup full of muddy water. Jumping out the muddy water. Pumping out the muddy water. We build bricks with this muddy water. Put them filters down, this is raw and uncut. And ain't no chaser with this mud, just straight to the good. I say we going live, he say nigga what's up. I say we getting high, he say nigga roll up. Another topic of discussion, a conversation piece. Monumental black boom born out of necessity. Now put them cups up, make a toast and feed on this recipe. Wise words, this is poor righteous teaching from a rich type feature. Adding wealth to my
I have some wiring services coming through, electrical, all kinds of stuff like that. But, you know, I can't really give y'all all the information right now, but one day I will.
Yeah, we get to it. So I'm gonna hand it over to my co-host. Let him do the introduction.
All right, so here we are. All right, we've been doing this "Make America Well Again" situation. It's just another installment. We covered a couple kind of direct, specific angles on the whole thing. We're talking about, herbal, physical health. Talked about mental health. This one is kind of more the technology side of it. Today's guest is got experience in the technological side of things, and I guess today's discussion is more about how we should or how we have been, approaching, how to how to deal with this whole thing, understanding it, in relation to the wellness of the people. So I guess we could just get into it, I'll let him introduce himself and get started.
All right, guys. I am somewhat of a all-trade journeyman of many different wiring systems and aspects. Everything from your commercial, residential, simple wiring to some stuff that are more advanced. A lot of projects between state, federal, homeland security, government projects, things of that nature. And my name is Jovon G.
All right. So get right into it. I mean, you want to ask a question first, or
Just your background. We've spoken a few times about, like, everybody's familiar with the term 5G, right? So if people have been paying attention, how this whole 5G thing or the advancements in technology, how it affects the people directly, indirectly. So I guess the first question is like, how do you see how our recent advancements in technology have affected us, and what you see as issues or non-issues moving forward. Just the advancement, how it affects people's health and well-being.
Well, as in the advancement, it really depends on the way that we go about the situation, how the holders of the technology are using it, and stuff of that nature. Waves are waves. Waves can be useful, but depending on how strong the waves can be dangerous. Little backstory: military used to use 5G and other sources of handling bandwidth in different ways. But one way was with their fighter jet systems, their navigational systems. The pilots had so many flight hours that, and the systems, how they would place everything in the systems with that piece of equipment, the pilots end up developing testicle cancer. Now, I'm not sure if they could have developed or used different things to swap out the situation, or maybe they could have put it in a different area, or who knows, right? Engineering, but that was the outcome of that time of that situation. But that's just a tidbit of how dangerous a wave can be to a body, depending on how often it is exposed to it and how close, you are to the source. I give another example. When cell phones, before, if you look at the different generation of cell phones that we've had on the back, with now you can't take batteries out of your cell phones anymore.
That's crazy. I noticed this shit.
Before, you used to be able to take out batteries and do a whole bunch of self-service, some of the phones and all of that. But
why do you think that is?
Realistically, before, to get off the topic real quick, I think it's more so than the phones are more trackable. Before, you could totally detach the power system
from the device,
and it would only have your last known location, and that's it. It's kind of hard now to do that with a power system that you can't remove.
Damn.
They wouldn't
Think about it like that, but I remember when they started doing it, like, I can't take the battery out of this one.
So you're saying even if you turn your phone off, they can still track it?
Right. It's easier. Yeah.
It's still detectable.
It's still detectable because the power source is still
attached.
It's still attached, along with other things that they have in the phone.
Okay, my bad for cutting you off. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying. Right. You talking about the battery? Yeah.
Right. So phones had many different generations of phones. When phones was first coming out, they had low energy, low radiation, basically. Right. It's letting off a wave, a frequency. It's an antenna, if you will, a receiver, receivers and senders. And and the energy by law they had you would be able to read. They had certain things on
Meter.
not like a meter, like a sticker of information, right?
Like the SIM card.
Right, like side effects
Yeah. Warnings and
or like the power, the what the phone can distribute, on certain things.
like safety.
Right, yeah, safety measures and
Right.
things like that. And there was a board, and they before they come out with a stronger phone, they got to get like certain things passed. So certain waves, like the 5G and the 2G, at first it was illegal. They couldn't. It was too, you know what I mean? Because they had to test the harmfulness of the body. I remember looking at a old for Winfrey show. She had these people coming on her show, and they were talking about the use of phones and how the phones go from, they've been getting stronger from 0 point something to 1.8, now the 2.4 megahertz, and now we're going into the 3G, 4G, 5G. You know what I'm saying? At the time when it was even lower frequencies, there was people on their phones so much. A person was on there who caught brain cancer. They was on their jack so much that they caught brain cancer. So the radiations of what the phones can, they used to talk, don't have your phone on all day, keep it off or keep it away from you. But the way that technology and the way that the business systems that we use today, you need to keep your phone on you all the time. You got to be, the way that our working system is all now. It's like everything is more remote. So they're kind of, these waves are just always there around you. You know what I'm saying?
The conversation ain't really even being had about safety.
Right.
As far as
Because now it's in the norm. At first, when it was not normal, it's not unusual anymore. You know what I'm saying? No one's talking about the safety of what something can do because now it's the norm.
Yeah, it's kind of necessary now.
Right.
Like,
It's normal now.
so to have that conversation at this point would be taken away from the.
Go, guys.
Like,
Are you guys doing like a podcast?
yeah. Like when they first introduced technology, there was a need to discuss the safety parameters.
Right.
Now that it's mainstream to have a cell
It's
phone,
regular.
to have that conversation would take away from the commercial side, the need to have it.
Right.
As the technology advances and, the generations go on, it can't be getting no better
Right.
health-wise because we're dealing with,
Doing a thing.
higher frequencies.
But that was just an example to say that was at a time when it wasn't regular, and Oprah Winfrey is who she is now. That was a part of a big platform.
Right.
And it didn't stop nothing. There was no recall back on no phones. There was no stoppage of the make or the selling or the buying.
That's a good observation.
And we just said,
Because her
okay,
platform is like super big,
super.
and it just slipped through the cracks.
It's just like, damn, that's crazy. Okay, so now we're in the hope. We put ourselves in, well, maybe I should turn off my phone more. Maybe I shouldn't keep it in my pocket. Excuse my French, by my balls, or I don't want to get this. If you saw this
Shit on my leg.
right,
It's real though. Like we don't even hear that anymore.
Yeah.
Like that conversation ain't getting had anymore.
It's regular.
Like people sleep with it next to their head, charging it up while they sleep.
So what about the nature part of it? How does it affect? You hear about a lot of people saying that birds dying, trees dying, things around them are just not looking the same anymore. Does that have a effect on that too, on nature?
I mean, I would say, yeah. I would say, For sure. I mean, we're not, they have more delicate components to their self-organism. A dog's nose, a cat's ears, a bird's whatever.
Plants,
You know,
trees.
yeah, they have a whole different self.
So you saying it would affect them more than humans, or?
I mean, if it was strong enough, they would be the first ones to say, all right, let's stay away from it, because they're more sensitive. You dig what I'm saying?
So pay attention to nature, and it might tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure, nature will tell you.
Yeah, because we ain't talking about just the phones. We talking about, like, when we talk about communication
Yeah,
from device, where's the communication coming from?
for sure, nature will tell you.
Then we talking about the towers. Like, especially when you start talking 5G, it's like
Look what they used to do with birds. The miners, they used to take
canary.
canaries with them, and that's how they would know if the bird's more sensitive. They check that canary and like, oh shit, yeah, we gotta get up out of here, man.
The canary dies, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
Yeah, but we had, like, when we had house phones, we had phone towers. They were, however it was set up. But as we get into the whole cellular thing, they having to compensate with the communication towers, Now you're talking 3, 4, 5G, they having to replace the older towers with newer. And now they have to be closer. Now they have to be stronger.
Right.
So if the conversation ain't being had on how it's affecting us, then how will we know?
Exactly. This jump, they have to be closer. There needs to be more of them. It's not. It sounds cool from a. It sounds cool when you're not talking about the safety measures of it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It don't really sound cool when, like, boom. All right, another example. We have wiring like amplifiers. All right, think about how you have under the poles that sit above ground and they hold our main power, our telecommunication lines, and all that stuff. New contract, new system comes in. They get the contract to run lines. They never take down the old system. They just put lines on top of whatever is there. Because whatever companies, they got the contract to that, right? But the old system is still there. So they'll eventually move the people off the old system. What they're going to use with the new system, there's already companies who've made mergers with cell phone companies that use those wires to amplify their range, their drop areas where they aren't able to get signal at. So there's certain companies that got merged with cell phone companies that use the telecommunication lines to get more coverage. There was guys. Now I wasn't in the field realistically when they was putting up certain systems, or I wasn't, or I was, but I wasn't a part of the company. But I had other guys who came from those backgrounds who used to install those, and a big part of their safety regiment was that these systems give off frequencies and waves, and they didn't want you to be around these things for a certain amount of time. But they're installing it, so realistically it depends on how fast so their body is being exposed to this rate, and there's a sticker on it that says warning, frequency, radio, whatever kind of radioactive, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Because it's letting off a frequency.
Emitting all kind of
It's
radiation.
Yeah, mittens and the radiation. So basically, their bodies are being exposed to it, and I'm not sure even if their safety measures were accurate, but they said that they weren't able to be no more than 15 be there for 15 minutes doing whatever they were supposed to do fix or maintenance or like install. I'm not sure if they had to wear special suits or anything, but they gave them that time. Now, there's other people who will go up there and install certain stuff. They won't be up there that long. They might go up there to bring something down or hang something up. So you're only up there for about 5 minutes. But I'm not sure how far those devices can really affect a person. So you're parked there away wiring whatever you're wiring. You might be there for the next 4, 6, 8 hours, depending on what you're doing. So what did that do to those people? You know? Right.
Is that conversation being had amongst contractors?
No, because the people aren't aware, and the people who were installing those things at the time, to them, well, everything seems okay. I'm still alive, so
I don't feel nothing.
I don't feel anything.
Right. Wow. Like, so they don't even get it. They don't get what they're doing.
It could affect you later.
So even the people that are well versed on frequencies and how that thing works, they don't even know necessarily how it's affecting.
They're working on it. Well, they're not really, these people, they're not really the engineers. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying? They're not out there installing the stuff. They're going to pay a person who has a family to take care of, and who they're paying the worker. He doesn't know the technology. They'll train him how to install it, how to build it and put it up there, turn it on, power it, and stuff like that. But he might not know the science behind how it works.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's almost like we'll feed this to your kid. My kids ain't eating it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna send my kids with their lunch box. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Damn.
Yeah. So to go from when it's first
but that's in
introduced,
certain areas to also to mind you, because those areas are in. So not every area has that in different states. That Sandtech wouldn't be there for them. They would still have towers. That's why they need to have towers in certain places. Other places don't need to have towers because they can have a small device connected to telecommunication lines to make this. So they have those like maybe every 4 or 5 poles. Like, if you think there might be like 300 feet between maybe every, 1,000 feet or so. Like I've never counted, but I would see those things often down the road or down the, you know what I'm saying?
I know you was talking about demographics. What does that? How does you were saying that certain things happen in certain areas?
Well, we change and we cultivate land a lot to sustain living. But we do a lot of research about land too. This land might have a low water level, so we can have houses with basements over here. You know what I'm saying? The pipelines and everything can be at a lower level. This land has a lot of water in its land. It holds water. So they'll say, we got to build houses differently, and we can't have no basements here because it would saturate and mess up the foundation. So it really depends on how we cultivate that. That changes on what we can do with the system. One place might have different types of rock and stuff like that, and they'll say, well, we can't do certain things here, you know what I mean? And this place might have soft land. Oh, we could do all underground stuff here. So the underground stuff there might be less frequencies where most of the wires are underground because they don't have the need, also with the look, some people have a design where they don't want
to see the poles.
They don't want to see the poles. They don't want to see that wire. So they keep an underground system. those places would have more. They would have a lot less frequency.
Yeah, and those are usually in the higher income
Right.
people that they care about how they feel and what they see and their perceptions.
Yeah, or just the area. But I would say because there's more options. There's more options because everything is in the air. There's way more chances to have more frequency in frequent places when all of your system options are above ground. Is what I'm saying. There's more things that they can do.
So it's
versus-
better to put it underground.
I mean, it might be. What I'm saying is, there's still going to be frequencies because these companies are still going to find a different solution to get, services to those areas. But right, but it will be a lot less, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of the stuff that's above ground because they're able to build the infrastructures also a lot faster. There will be a lot of cities. There will be more people there and stuff like that. You can just go ahead and look at it. Look at any city. Look at Kansas City. Look at Chicago. Look at New York. Look at most of it. They're able to build the cities very fast because
Everything
it's
is above
easy
ground.
access. It's easy access. The access is easier. It's easier to build the infrastructure of something in those cities or any city that has it above ground because it's faster.
Right.
Underground takes a lot longer.
Right.
So the cities are usually slower. In that sense, they're not as broad. There's less people there, all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's more remote. Everything with the that's very local stuff is right there. You know what I mean?
So
So
knock it out.
yeah, they can knock
Move
it out
on to
very
the
fast.
next
Yeah.
Right.
Some
All
more
right, so
options.
so now that you laid out like the logistically how it's set up, like you know the capabilities and all that shit, like you know
Again, I just want to say it can be used for good, but it has to be handled properly. As long as it's handled properly, it can be good. Can you stop the wave if it's in the dink? No, it's just what it is. It's like putting a power plant or a certain thing that's not supposed. But then you want to put houses. Remember they used to talk about that, like these what are those power plants and this and that. The frequencies of it, and they would put the houses right next.
Right.
That could be dangerous.
yeah, you ain't supposed to build it within a certain distance.
Exactly.
Schools, churches used to be a certain respect they had for certain structures, like we keep it away from these places. Hospitals.
Yeah.
Do they still have that same consideration? No.
I would like to hope. Think so. It seems like that. Everything is somewhat up to some code, but when you talk about power grids, it's as you drive by and you look about space for houses, you know, those kind of markets that kind of like somehow something gets passed where they can build something close to
They do whatever they want, pretty much.
there's always ways to get. I don't know. I guess they could fluff the system. I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but
Right.
I just would be aware from what I know. Like, I will pay attention to where these energized places are
Right.
buying the house. Whatever the case may be.
So like over the years, right? Like it used to be a case where you just had the little. I don't even know if it was called Ethernet at that point. You had the phone line. You had whatever that came to the house. Then you had inside the house. So you had your phone line. You would just plug the phone cord into it. Were those a threat for as far as like radiation emission and all that shit?
No.
So we went from that to Ethernet cable
Right.
to now we're dealing with routers, where we have a connection from the outside to the house, but then we have an actual little entity, little system within the house.
All right. Yeah.
Where we talking, where it was plugs, now we talking wireless, routers and modems and shit. Like, is there, health situations when we talking about that? Like, not just from the tower to the device, but from the tower to the house to where something is emitting radiation inside the house. Like, is that different? Is that
No.
because we don't, people that get shit installed in their house. Is that conversation ever had?
He said no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So it's the same?
no, the conversation has been had with developers, this and that, but just to clarify, there is no radiation from the wire standpoint to inside the house, right? That's all being rolled within the wire, right? The thing is that all those wires that we talk about, like, all right, so that first wire that you was talking about is something that they call, all right, there was an old wires, 2-pair wire that they used to have, the same wires like for doorbells, something small, our first telephones and all of that. You know what I mean? They called it, I think it was called T-wire. And then they got rid of that wiring because by electrical code, it was not fire rated. So it was supposed to be to keep the household more safe. So they wanted, in case of fires, it would protect, it has like a certain fire threshold. You know what I mean? Like your alarm system in like this building, right? So they have a fire rated, that went to their fire panel. It's coded in a certain type of coding that is fire rated to a certain point. And if there was a fire, it would try to protect the wires and this and that. But if it goes past that heat threshold, of course, it could burn through anything, right? But it has a certain threshold, so it has a certain fire rating. So they got rid of the older cable because it didn't have fire rating. So that's when they moved to Ethernet. Ethernet has a fire rating, so they upped the code to try and protect us. But no, there is no radiations that you get from a wired system, because it is wired. There is no
code.
Right. It's just energy. It's not. There's no radiation in those lines. You know what I mean?
So the modem doesn't release.
No, the modem is fine. It's when we went past the modem and we started wanting to have more remote locations and access to devices and stuff like that. It's the Wi-Fi that is harmful.
The wireless.
Yes, your wireless systems are harmful. These
Oh, shit.
all of your wireless systems are. So basically, what I'm saying is
Even
that
a car.
yeah,
Because it's all having to communicate. So
now-
how is it communicating?
yeah,
So earbuds and all that.
all of that.
Bluetooth and all that shit.
all that.
Whatever's wireless is like, how will they communicate?
Yeah.
If there's no coding.
It's all frequency. It's all a certain level of frequency
Okay.
that your body
You helping me to understand it now.
that your body is being absorbed to or being exposed to because of whatever's your luxuries. You're using designed luxury.
Yeah, so it's like when they say you need more Wi-Fi, it's like, what does that mean? More Wi-Fi? It's just higher frequency.
Yes, to give you a luxury.
Yeah, because it's all just bouncing back and forth, communicating the whole time. So if you got your phone by your ear, it's still communicating.
We don't-
it's hitting you and bouncing off and hitting you and bouncing off. Like if you say you at the house and I lost Wi-Fi, what does that mean?
What?
You're still getting service, but the Wi-Fi ain't working. So it's like frequencies ain't talking, ain't communicating. You know what I'm saying? So once they turn it back on and the frequencies are communicating, How is it communicating? It's communicating by frequencies bouncing back and forth. To keep it consistent, it have to be coming back and forth.
Right, from senders or receivers. You know what I mean? Like the router is really, depending on how you look at it, it could be a sender or receiver. Once you put it inside a certain network where there's also different devices talking through that device over Wi-Fi or mesh network, now you got senders and receivers that are sending information, that are sending information. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's because of luxury. All of it is giving off waves. Now, do we need the waves? No, we don't. We don't need it. It's all for luxury based for us. For
Convenience.
Convenience. Yes. For a business or for a different system or a tech company, they're thinking about different. They know that the Wi-Fi is everywhere. They could be using the Wi-Fi to try and come out with a new technology that they can use it off of and bounce off these different waves to control different machinery or stuff like that. But do we need Wi-Fi? No, you do not need it. You can at least protect it. If you wanted to, you could do away with Wi-Fi just by having everything hardwired in your house.
Of course.
You could have a modem going to
Wireless. From your modem
yeah,
to your
you could have a
PC
modem going to
laptop.
straight to the laptop. That's how we was doing it back in the day before there was any
Wireless.
routers, before there was any, you know what I mean, that could go straight to your computer. You could add that to a switch and have that going to multiple locations if you really wanted to.
Right.
But we want this wireless stuff and it's causing us harm.
But I mean,
It's about our luxury. Hey, you know,
convenience.
as long as we got convenience, it's all right.
Shit, we grew up having a house phone where you had the long ass cord and you take it in your room.
Right.
Then when you get off, all right, holler at you later. You have to go back, follow the wire back to the phone, hang it up.
That was luxury at one time.
Yeah.
Now it's not considered that.
The long line was the luxury.
Now it's considered nasty, but it's one of the safest technologies that we've had.
Even when it went to the wireless phone in the house, that's still, it has to communicate. So it's communicating through frequencies. So you got the wireless
Even
phone
the
in the
wireless
house.
phone.
Yeah, it's a certain level because you have to communicate. The wire is how you communicate. Without the wire, you still have to communicate. So how you communicate?
Right.
Now it's just
So it was like Bluetooth from the base to the actual phone.
yeah, gotta communicate. Like from your
So
phone
damn, we've
to
been
the
in this shit
Bluetooth.
for a long time.
Nigga, that's what I'm saying.
We have been exposed to
And it's just getting higher and higher.
so many frequencies,
That's why cancer is everywhere.
and it's just getting higher and higher. Higher and
To
higher.
the point where people expect to have cancer
Yeah.
at some point.
No,
When people say I got cancer, it's like, oh, you got cancer already?
Yeah. How did you get it? You probably didn't even get it from the source of where you really think you got it from. You know what I'm saying? Realistically.
Like we conditioned to expect cancer. Like people say I got cancer. Like, oh man, that's fucked up. Where cancer used to be like, cancer? How the fuck you get that? Now we expect it at some point.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, the older people we know,
All these.
it's a common occurrence.
It's regular. It's in the norm now.
We ain't even talking about the food and shit. Just in this particular wires and frequencies. You know, wireless.
I got a question. Like, is there anything to deter that? I mean, I've heard stories of copper that can deter these frequencies and waves.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah. I mean,
How close does the copper have to be? Does it have to be on you, or can it just be in the vicinity?
I mean like that. Okay, so there is. I don't think you want to wear a
proper suit.
a suit all day to bounce waves of. Yeah, they do have. There are suits that you could wear where these waves and even electrical frequencies. You know what I'm saying? Even real live. Like you could literally put yourself and touch live wire, and the electrical current will bounce around you. You know what I'm saying? They do have suits of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Where you can, these are powerful suits. But one way that you can deter and help yourself from using this is just by going back to a wired system.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the same speed. It's just that, like for example,
Inconvenience.
right? You just have a updated house. Like when the house gets built, if the contractor, if a person, some of them usually put, they got network systems, so they got Ethernet lines that go to every room. Every bedroom, maybe your office room, your living room, and stuff like that. If you needed to jack something in, you would just use the hardline system. You could that would save. If everybody did that, there would be zero Wi-Fi.
But we at a point where that's not gonna happen though.
No.
Ain't gonna happen. We refuse to do it.
Yeah, we refuse to do it.
Convenience is king, nigga. It's like everything.
Let me say this. Like, share, follow on YouTube right here at Muddy Water, man. Make sure you like, share, and follow. And like, share, and subscribe on IG. But yeah, that ain't gonna happen, man.
We love our luxuries, man.
I mean, a big part of that is that discussion ain't being had.
Yeah, the companies know. The companies, you know what I mean? They're not putting the information out there willingly. You know what I'm saying? To, like boom, cigarettes, for example.
Because they know.
Right, like how they had the truth. I think they had to do an award. Remember those commercials where the cigarettes, they had to tell you how bad cigarettes was and stuff like, you know what I mean? Because it's proven that it can give you harm. So they had to, I don't know how, I guess they lost the court battle, so they started having to pay for those truth commercials,
right?
Whatever the case.
The baby all burn up and shit.
You know what I'm saying? The fingers missing and all.
Right.
There's just no. That's one.
You don't see that.
Yeah. They're not doing that with technology because the technology companies have more money.
They got more power, more leverage. They more of a. They got a higher percentage.
And it's harder to see. You can't.
Right.
Nope. So put it like this.
Can't see it.
If I'm a technical company, or I'm gonna bring it back to me. How I like to do this. There was a documentary, and they was talking about how good meat is and what do companies do to keep meat at its purest form. And they realized that there's a lot of companies who don't, right? They change the color of it, from its natural color because it looks more pleasing to the eye and stuff like that, right?
Dying all that shit.
What I'm saying is that who is gonna put money into a
regulatory?
No, like a quality. Who's gonna quality ensure a project that would
fuck up your
that would railroad your product?
Yeah.
No one's gonna do that.
The company ain't. The government's supposed to.
They're in it to make it. They're not gonna. They did the research. The person of this meat company, 20 years. They don't want to be found. This person, we made these documents, blah blah blah, and now they want to try and get them to come. So they have to lie to these people. One person did show up, and if you were the person of this document, blah blah blah. The person ends up walking out of the interview because they know that they falsified the truth in behind of what they were supposed to say. So the budget, what they were supposed to do was do a certain research to make sure that the meat was safe.
Right.
And they kind of flogged
Fudge
the whole thing, saying that, oh yeah, it's great. We're using the best preservatives and this and that, blah, blah, blah. These companies are major companies to this day. Been selling this stuff for years.
Yeah, like the FDA. Like the FDA is supposed to be funded by the government. It's supposed to be entities that, apart from the actual company doing it, that check for the public, keep shit in order for the public. I don't see how that shit don't exist no more. The what is it, the SEC or whatever, or FCC for technology, for frequencies and all that shit.
Yeah.
Do they exist? Is that a thing?
I mean, it's a thing, but the bottom line, nobody is going to fund no research that rerails if something that works. It works already. There's already a system for it. So now, if the awareness, if people were like, oh, this is not good, if there was more of an uproar about it,
Right.
then I could see it would push it and it push the envelope probably to get something done. And even if it's not, there should be people already, but they got people, who will say, well, we did the research, so it's good enough for these measurements and these measures and under these procedures. And as long as you operate like this, then it's all fine. But realistically, it's not. It's all crap.
Can we clarify, like, we talking about America, right? We in America, we can only really speak for America.
Right.
But we do know that there's a lot of shit that happen in America that ain't allowed in a lot of other countries.
Right.
We hear about it all the time. GMOs, this whole frequency thing. In a lot of the other countries, they don't allow a lot of this stuff. So, just to clarify, like, this shit don't seem to exist in America no more. The regulatory bodies that dictate what's allowed. Like we were saying, like they used when this whole technology thing was introduced, there had to be conversations about health standards and hazards and all that shit. But I don't hear that no more. So whatever, But that's America.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's like now that we're talking about just random shit, like how it works, can we talk more about the intentional shit? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
So now that we established that the regulatory thing don't necessarily exist, if that ain't there, then they can pretty much do what they want, right? Like,
Yeah.
you go from, okay, we gonna do what they allow us to do. Then once the people that dictate what's allowed ain't in the picture, now it's like we could do what we really want to do. What would you say they really trying to do with all this stuff?
Well, for years, with certain entities that are supposed to make us safe have been using our luxuries against us. You know what I'm saying? For years. I mean, back when, there was a matter of fact, let's not go back that far. Let me go back to, let's say, we got a lot of famous, notorious guys in New York. No, not New York. In American history that were very clever of getting around the system at that time. Right?
Like who?
Usually, like our drug dealers and our, certain people in history who were like these smart kingpins and
Well, like Rockefeller and them niggas?
oh no, I'm talking more like the real guy behind Blow and all these favorite
Nicky
movies.
Barnes and
Yeah, all these guys, all those stories you hear about.
Kingpin.
Yeah, the kingpins and how they used drugs to save to fund wars and
CIA shit.
and save financial banking in institutions and
Hollywood and all that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So supposed to be for the benefit of America or the betterment of our society. But they were, breaking all kinds of laws.
Yeah.
They now that's something in secret that the government doesn't want, anybody to know publicly.
Yeah, they still get out of this shit.
Right? But it was there. The technology that they were using, it took a whole team of people to do recon work on all kinds of people at that time, not just at a drug empire stage, but they developed whole branches. The FBI, they told you that it was for another branch to keep our federal stuff in order and things safe, but they made it was really created because of the Black Panthers. We all know that, to dismember them. It's a spy company. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or was that the CIA? I forget which one it was.
FBI, CIA.
CIA it was one of the two, I think. But they all have
Central
their
Intelligence.
right. They all have their. I mean, that's what I think that the Wi-Fi is really. They've always. It took a lot of manpower and a lot of, spent hours and different,
What they call them?
personnel to get a certain surveillance authorities and stuff like that, and certain intel on people that they thought were high risk or
Threat.
a threat to American assets and
Right.
stuff like that, right? So technology is just helping them where they don't have to
Put all the
pay
manpower.
out, right? They don't have to pay out as much as they used to. They're saving a lot of dollars by
Remote control.
all this remote control access. So when it comes to waves, just like what they used to do, right? They used to tap. They had to tap. They used to have to physically go to a box or a location to go ahead and tap a line, and you know what I'm saying?
They can just
Wiretaps and all
Yeah,
that.
wiretaps.
You tap right now.
Now
Yeah,
they
you
could,
have to sneak in there and shit.
they could just pluck that right out the air, basically.
Put a
Tap
bug.
right now.
Right now.
I mean, we assume everything tapped now. I mean, everything is tapped now.
Oh man,
They
y'all
got
gonna
access
get me
to
in trouble.
everything.
That's not assumption. They got us. Listen, these telecommunication companies, all these companies that not when they're small, it's when they get big, they got enough power. These guys are monopolies.
Right.
The government, they let them do what they do because they
Use them.
they have to. They say okay. They go to court. We want to. All right, we're gonna let you get away. We need to know what you know.
Right.
So they basically, so it's not like you basically saying like they just made everything Area 51.
You couldn't have a monopoly back in the day. Now look.
Who was wrong, Raleigh?
Look how many monopolies there.
For real, like it's all like the whole America is a concentration camp right now.
I mean, yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
that ain't
It's like
that
the
ain't
whole.
wrong.
It's just a
It's
straight
a surveillance state.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. But
Yeah,
I would say I mean, I would say that's like that's any, I don't know, not one continent that is every continent.
Right.
All of them got their secret.
A world,
They got-
surveillance world.
Yeah, they got government, what,
So boy wasn't crazy.
what do they call those?
It was
Those
Snowden.
information tech
Snowden,
technology.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Snowden wasn't crazy.
No, he wasn't. That shit was real. That shit was real.
But they say he was
Who?
intrigued.
Snowden.
WikiLeaks.
The dude that. No, the dude
Was that
that.
WikiLeaks?
The dude that told everybody that the NSA is spying on him.
Oh, the NSA?
Yeah. Yeah. The NSA is able to exist
Why you look
based
like
on what we talking about now. Like you say, they don't have
You
to.
looking like nigga usually.
That wasn't that was like a given.
Yeah, straight
The
up.
NSA, we gotta expect these dudes got space stations. I don't even want there's personnel that I like, my sources of information, man. Think about a space force.
Yeah. Space Force. Star Wars shit. Real shit. But these capabilities are what allow them to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the FBI had to literally get a warrant or not get a warrant, whatever the case is.
Right.
Sneak into your shit
Yeah,
and plug some shit in.
plant bugs.
Yeah, they don't have to do none of that.
Do different things. We had lines. They would tap your lines
to
from
tap your
a
line
point,
physically.
You know what I'm
Tap
saying?
your
From
line.
physically, all kinds of triangulation systems.
Yeah, right.
So
Now
they
they
can
just do it from an office somewhere.
Right.
Annihilation system.
Yeah, they can use triangulation systems
Yeah,
now.
from
So
the
what they'll
towers
do,
and shit.
they'll go. Oh, you might see them. They got triangulation with the police force. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They'll go and park a nice truck somewhere.
Man, yep.
Do some little stuff with the land wires, plug in that way, and have they little,
Satellites
and whatever, triangulate certain things in a certain area. That's how they
capture all the info.
catch all the info and see what's up. And, especially if there's somebody they try and tap, it's just that much easier.
And that's what they saying about what we've been hearing a lot about, the whole blue light system.
I mean, I think that's a little, that's further down though. Like, they don't necessarily need that part to do what they're doing now. That's more of a tracking. Like,
What I'm trying to say is that I'm not too aware of that blue light stuff yet. But what I'm saying is that the spyware has been around forever. They have been using it on themselves
since
forever.
computers been around.
You know what I'm saying? Since we made the computer, and the computer was supposed to be a good thing,
In
and
everybody's house.
everything was all good. Once we started, as we started getting into more access, more luxury with that,
Convenience.
the convenience of technology, it's just that much easier to plug. They create the waves. They're creating digital. There's different waves now. What we're talking about man-made machine and man-made digital waves that they can just take that information and pluck it right out there.
Yep.
Go to a central system and just analyze everything that's being done from this location.
Just like a search engine and shit. Type some shit in and narrow it down. Man.
They got, I don't even talk, man. They got devices, man. You in a 50-mile range, and depending on what they trying to find, they can look like they can find you.
IP addresses and shit.
They can put a device in the fit, they can find you.
And that kind of go more.
But that's more military and gun. Like, not everybody has that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not like capable for every year. It's not. They won't let that kind of technology slip and give it to the regular local forces at B. But you know what I mean? They have their expos where they, have different technology that comes out, they'll promote a certain of it, but these things are capable of so much more. You know what I mean? Wave a wand and get all your information just by you driving by.
Tag and all that shit. Yeah.
Everything. I'm talking about everything you ever done, every contact that's on your phone, every email. They know about the pictures of your girlfriend, the dick pics, anything. They got your whole, they know everything. They
Just from you driving by.
just by you driving. But they didn't want that. That personally, I've heard about that. They had that. I heard that was from an official broadcast from a meeting that they were having at with a city and the police force at the time. They was trying this tech company was trying to introduce this device to, and how it could be used on many security levels if needed, but it could do so much more. And once they knew how much more it could do, it was like, no, this is too dangerous. If we let our police force have this, soon the criminals would have it, soon the street people would have it. You know what I'm saying?
Like that shit on The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
With, Morgan Freeman.
They was like, no, we gotta
You got that?
And
it was like, oh, on the screens and shit, you can see the whole city, everything that's happening, and just, you know.
And the only reason why they
shit.
didn't okay that was because it would be too easy for the civilians to, once it did get to, if it ever did get on the black market level, it'd be too easy for the civilians to take diplomatic or political people's information and
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the secret shit that we don't know. You know, they have certain once you have a certain stature, like they have a certain firewall, if you will, that separates them from us. You know, famous people, blah blah blah, boom. There's they have like a certain type of security to at each level to keep things separate. That
Keep themselves
right.
protected.
That are one probably of many devices that would destroy that whole
Firewall.
whole system.
Now everybody can get it.
Yeah, it would be too easy. So they said no.
Nah, we can't be doing
So we're an hour in, right? So I was wondering, you know, for the next however many minutes, if we could go to the whole, you know, COVID-19 and the shot and how that plays in.
All right.
How do, you know, first question, how do the frequencies and the waves and metal, I know I had asked you this question earlier, how do they correspond with each other? How does that work? I mean, because we know that there are metals inside of these shots, right?
Right. That's
like Wi-Fi in your body.
people. I am not. And
Is that simple?
It's kind of just an extension of the whole other shit.
Go ahead. What was you going to say? People what?
people, I have to say allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right.
That's
Like,
how I
share,
word
and
it
follow.
around here.
Like, share, and follow, please.
I have to say it allegedly.
Allegedly. Everything is allegedly.
Yeah.
First of all, let's
Like-
preface the whole
But
conversation.
I still want you to like, share, and follow.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So
Yeah, that's important. We ain't say that yet. No.
Well, we said
All
it
the
now.
shit is alleged, man. We don't know shit.
yeah, we don't know shit.
Right.
We don't know nothing. Anyway, right? So allegedly, let's go into this. We should have did this from the beginning.
I mean,
This is a fire drill. Let's call it a drill.
Pretty good spot to start this. the whole shit.
Let's call it a drill.
Yeah.
You know why? Because a drill is a what if. It's a case that happens.
Hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical. It's a what if.
Kind of like the pulsar they be sending out to everybody
Right.
that just happened, what, a couple of days ago?
The what? Or that Amber Alert shit?
Yeah,
Or that
but
test.
anyway,
The test they put out.
I was just, you know, go ahead.
Oh, the EAS shit, emergency, whatever.
So people, do your research. I'm gonna just say that the ones who know can do it. If you don't know, you can't do it. So if you, there was a, we're talking about technology. So there was a report where now I told you what the capabilities what they were first trying to use 5G for, or at one time for the fighter jets, right? To locate as at one time as like a GPS device for or a location device for their fighter jets. They used it in a way to detect and not only protect their investment, but be aware for threats and shit like that. What's the guy that owned? What's his name? That owned Tesla?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
He's talking about him, brother.
So they was promoting now in these cars. They got a automation system. You know what I mean? They've been talking about how these cars are going to be able to drive themselves soon, and we won't be in the Jetson era as in flying, but you know what I'm saying?
Automated.
We're ending up. We're going to be in this era soon, right?
Right.
They predict something
Through the shot.
They hold on. They protect. Let me. They predict.
Boy, you was fuck wild. Go ahead. Keep doing what you doing.
They predict something. You know, they got different
Let him
companies.
keep doing what you do.
They predict something crazy like in the next 10 years.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just telling
What,
you.
nigga?
So the Elon Musk or the powers of the world, these guys who have these, you know, these billion companies in this tech field,
Just get it and come back. You'll think about it.
they can use allegedly
Okay.
use. They couldn't do it before because they said that the bandwidth and frequencies were too low to do anything for the capabilities of doing anything automated. They said they needed something strong. They said with 5G, with that bandwidth, they will be at least to be able to hold from that one to a better one. So 5G is supposed to be the starting point of that control. Now, with that being said, for that to happen, they would have to put up 5G towered equipment. They would need assistance to do that. Cars just can't do 5G by themselves. And they're just driving all the way around and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and we could sit back and relax. No, they needed assistance from systems or from a system or multiple systems. So if, in theory, let's just play with this. If I got towers all over a state, not only do I got 5G towers, but I got waves from people's households all over town, all over the city that have 5G Wi-Fi equipment inside the house, which basically is your own 5G antenna. Why they can't use
You.
to help operate their system.
Right. To fortify it.
To fortify the driving technability of, so I'm talking about,
Like you the hotspot.
right, antennas, 5G, can you think they just bouncing off of 5G communication towers, cell towers, Uh, 5G, the smaller it's a smaller frequency. Now a professional, someone who's like a real, oh, it's not strong enough for. All right, I mean, it sound good. It might not be strong enough to hold
to have the continuity,
the continuity from the control. But if you have a wall based where I got a whole block, my house, and I got a system. Let's just say in my house that covers 4,000 square feet of 5G. I got multiple systems. The next house got multiple systems. This house got. Who says that they can't use that system to help guide the
continuity? Keep the continuity.
Yeah,
Because the whole thing is like, if you got an automated car,
especially
you can't
in those
reach a dead spot because shit just died. You need that continuity.
Yeah.
It got to be flowing.
Yeah.
So you need the more frequent 5G towers. You got the main towers, and you got the smaller ones that kind of keep it going.
But look at the
Keep it going.
Right. And look at the power at play. So now it's a tech company. There's multiple tech companies. They know that the frequency of 5G is happening. So how many tech companies is going to use it as it is evolving?
Right.
You got cell phones that's going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You got cars now that's going to be flying. It's going to be driving themselves. There's going to be other technology companies that eventually will come around and say, you know what? Let's see if we could go. Yeah, let's see if we can go in this direction and probably use some of that.
Yeah, because it's like the technical side is cool, but it's like what would make a company like they have to have incentives to kind of come on, join us with this whole thing.
This is the incentive. I'm gonna show Tesla. Their incentive for you to buy their vehicles and be able to hope that they got this automated company, or probably many automated companies that are developing this technology, of course, for years now, and they can't wait for it to happen, right?
Right.
The incentive was that they said you can have your car a part of a cab service where the car can make money for you while you sleep. Think about an extra $90,000 a year coming to you,
and they just renting your car to use it.
right?
Type shit.
So if they have the technology to come out, you can have a Tesla that can drive itself. You can put it a part of a let's say a 3.0 Uber type situation where you don't need a driver no more.
Just about to say Uber. That's how Uber is kind of like the bridge to it.
Now think about it.
Right.
In transportation, we had cab drivers that had people. They took that away. They came out with this technology. Now this technology that we're talking about with this is going to combat that technology, right?
So feeding each other.
Right. Not feed or taking away from each other is more the because the money is always going to be there, but it shifts. Right. So there was a power shift from people to
driving the cab
to business app people where they control the money now. Those companies control the money now, and then they just trickle it to the drivers, and you use your own vehicles and stuff like that.
Right, because that's a part of it. It's like if you went from cabs and private vehicles to talking about automation, where motherfucker renting your shit while you sleeping, motherfucker be like, hell no, you ain't gonna use my car. So Uber is like a bridge to it, where people is kind of using their car, contracting their car out for this job, and then the natural progression is just like, yeah, just rent my shit. You don't need me in it.
Actually, you're missing one key. No one was gonna have to rent your shit. Your Elon is that Tesla company, or probably multiple, because they're all thinking the same thing, right? Or automation. But the incentive is that you could make that's like anybody who's like really into like, oh, word, I can make, you know what I'm saying? If they think like you don't have to have it a part of a Uber or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But maybe they might, because they already are in this space, they might come into the space and just now bump Ubering them out.
Yeah.
Because they're developing the technology for, or they might give their vehicles to Uber. You dig what I'm saying? Who knows how they're gonna play it? But what I'm trying to say is that you won't have to have nobody rent it from you. You could just sign your car up. That's like you could just sign your car up for this under
You don't have to pay no money.
under Tesla's database, and they would put your car would go remote for however you want it to go for. Right. If the car can go remote for 8 hours, you want it to go remote at this day, you got to go to work the safest. But then in your sleep, you can turn it on and put it a part of a cab service or whatever the case may be.
So you making money while you sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an incentive.
It's an incentive. It's the incentive to make you want to.
Instead of me paying money for the car, I just sign this contract to where.
And it sounds cool. Oh, okay, then yeah, now I need 5G.
Just agree that we're going to use it while you don't need it, and you don't have to pay. It'll just be added to this whole thing.
Right.
It's all like conversions, just just small little.
It sounds good. So there's
nudges into this whole thing, and they make you think that's your fucking idea. Like people really driving around Uber thinking it's their idea. Like I got this motherfucking hustle. It's like, nigga, you just a part of the plan.
Yeah, it's just part of the system.
It's coming. It's gonna happen anyway. You're
gonna sink or swim.
Yeah, and then when they make it, inflation and shit, it's gonna make it hard for a nigga to turn that kind of shit down. Like
that's why they say.
You mean to tell me I could just sleep and make money instead of having to work 12 fucking hours, nigga? Hell yeah, I do that.
But who's the money going to? They're taking. It's going to the companies. The companies.
Just like Uber. Uber ain't helping nobody out because
the big powers, you're getting a company, but you're the one taking all the risk.
All the risk.
That's your vehicle.
You still gotta pay insurance.
That's
wear and tear and shit. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta pay if you get a flat.
Your safety.
Uber ain't paying that shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's
you gotta drive random motherfuckers around in your shit.
There's all kinds of and you're not getting paid. You know what I mean?
Paid nothing.
How many tutorial stories that you can hear from people where they like, yo man, I gotta drive such and such time and shit
just to
out
make
the day just to make, and they, you know what I'm saying?
But motherfuckers be proud to say they driving Uber, DoorDash and all this shit, man. You ain't making no money doing that shit. You actually spending money because all the wear and tear and gas and shit.
Yeah, they might have good days. Certain people that have good days, they probably got, what they call those algorithms that help spread the money around and all that kind of stuff based on.
That's all like fucking bird seed.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a fucking trail.
Yeah.
A carrot and a stick type shit.
Right.
Like, just make some extra money, nigga.
Yeah.
Now the cab driver's out of business, shit, and now you the cab driver, but you don't make as much as the cab do. You making less, but you think it's a couple dollars and shit. Then it becomes like, well, I mean, you a cab anyway. Instead of you driving the cab, let's just use your car.
But how it's gonna play out is gonna be a fun thing to watch to see how when they do have this technology, how is those app systems gonna survive? What is gonna be the creativity to keep the money in their pool? You dig what I'm saying? Once these because let's just say for example, Elon, if Tesla comes out and drops the technology first and everybody else is still behind, do you know how many companies is going to try and rip a Tesla apart to
figure out how they do it,
reverse engineer?
Right. Yeah, and that's the part of it too. It's like
they're gonna try and reverse it. They're so fast, so they're gonna try and rip that thing apart and reverse engineer what is going on, blah blah blah. If that's even a thing anymore, I'm not even.
So
sure
is there a hole in the system?
Huh?
Is there a hole in the system?
Yeah.
Something that they haven't calculated?
Yeah. It's called money.
It's like it's an ongoing thing, man. It's like
it's called money. They can't stop. They can try their best, but you know what? It's hard for them to. It's knowledge, man. Knowledge is the key, and we need to start looking at systems that are in place that have worked for other people and let it work for people who have the intelligence to understand a certain system, but then in return make it work for you.
For the people, you
For
know.
the people.
And that's where we jump in with the whole Make America. How do we use this shit for our benefit? Or can we? And if we can't, then how do we come up with a system that benefits the people? Like,
And my easy, quick answer and response is to think like the company. Just to keep it plain and simple. I'm not saying that you have to do the same things and be, hopefully these companies are, being all up and true and thinking about all the safety measures and blah, blah, blah. But to make some of this stuff, from what it seems like, it's not safe to create some of these things. They need to unearth land and move all kinds of people off their land and make up all kinds of stuff and
that's when
and
the
then
smart
act
cities
like
and shit come.
and act like it's you can't stay here, whatever their stories, you do the research and you'll find the stories of why hundreds of thousands of people have been relocated off their lands for whatever purposes, and it's probably something as simple as making lithium batteries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like Maui.
You know what I mean? It could be so simple, but for the people, you need to follow the blueprint of what other people have. It's already there. It's right in front of your eyes. You see it every day. It's just that you're not being aware to it.
Well, it's that, and that's when the whole narrative thing come in. Like
Operate
the
like a
media.
company.
It's like
Or
it's
even regulations.
Or operate as a social company.
yeah, and that's where the narrative coming at. Like
People
it's,
come together because they don't want you to be together.
Right.
That's all.
it's because the narrative is not gonna. It's gonna lead you. When they control the narrative, they kind of leave you alone to process the shit because they're not gonna help you process the shit that's really going on. They trying to lead you to where they want you to go, without you actually thinking about what the fuck is really going on.
Right. It's their vision. But
Right.
But the business model is here. I got this for sale. This is what you can use for this problem. And as a consumer, you say, yeah, great. Oh man, this thing does work and it is doing good for me. But you're not looking behind the curtain.
Yeah, you don't see it.
You're not putting yourself behind the whole system of
The end game shit.
Yeah,
What's the
you're
end
not-
game?
You're not looking at yes, because they're selling convenience.
Yeah,
The
and that's the
companies
distraction.
That is the distraction, guys.
Yeah.
They're selling convenience. Your microwave.
They don't even give you
Yo.
time to think about what's really going on. It's like,
It's
well,
simple
this is
stuff.
the easiest solution. Let me just do this. You don't even sit back like, oh, it might be easy now, but this shit ain't really benefiting me.
Let's go back.
They
to
don't give you time to think about that part of it.
Let's go back to the simple. Remember when they first came out with the microwave, they would give you rule. Yo, don't stand such and
So
such
close
close
to it,
to
right,
when
right.
You don't hit. No one's
Nobody
talking
talk about that
It's
kind of shit no
regular.
more. Niggas be right up on the microwave looking at that shit spin around and around and around and shit. Kids, man. Round and around and around. It's like that shit don't even enter your head no more.
Word.
It's not because
There's waves cooking your food, B. You
like
can't even
people
cook
have
something.
common sense enough
But
to
we
know
use
something
it
ain't
every
right.
day. We use it for convenience.
But if the people who's supposed to be kind of on your side about it ain't letting you know or reminding you, like we was talking about with the Oprah shit, if people ain't having that discussion to bring it to your awareness, then you alone have to process this shit.
Yo, bro.
And the more time goes on without them bringing it to your awareness, the less you processing it. Now it's like, well, man, it must be cool.
It must be. You know why? Anything is easy to look over once it becomes normalized.
Normalized, right?
We can even add that into so many different systems. Sexuality. To be gay used to be a sickness back in the 70s.
Well, gay, you know, you talking about
I'm just saying.
like transsexual
It's a
was
part of it.
literally like, yeah, something wrong with that person.
No, just to be gay used to be they would consider that a sickness,
Yeah, but
right?
like,
So
you know,
now it's normal. It's normal now. So no one wants to say anything about it.
transsexual was
Now they born like that.
And now all of a sudden now they born like that. Now
Yeah.
they got there's supposedly a gay gene. Where is it at?
yeah,
And what science? Right. So if you could say that if now we got kids, hold on, we promoting now we got. I've never seen this in my era. Now there's kids who are transsexuals in 6th grade, bro.
Right.
I don't
taking
I don't
pills and shit.
understand
The
it.
school is offering the kids pills
and
without even telling the parent.
co-ed bathrooms and all this girls and boys sharing the same bathrooms
Right.
and all this. They don't even have to be transsexual no more.
Right.
The boys could just
Just
girls
go
could
in the
just,
girls'
just go
bathroom.
in the same bathroom.
That's what it's going. That's what it's coming to.
But I'm
I remember seeing Starship Troopers, nigga, when that shit came out, like in 2000, whatever,
and they did.
like 99, 2000, whatever, where it was the women and the men taking showers together on the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm watching like, yo, what the fuck? That shit crazy, right? And that shit is dope. But now it's a real fucking thing, nigga. Like,
It's funny how
that conversation is really being had.
movies come from a real place. I believe that.
Absolutely. They just
believe
setting
that.
you up, getting you conditioned and
Yeah.
accepted type shit.
But if we have to go back into that system just to talk about the regularity, once you make something regular, once you can normalize something, it's easy to make it legal. So it's
Ain't nobody gonna fight.
because now it's regular. It was argued that this is now not a sickness. It's a personality, a situation. Now they want to try and combat that. There's a gene which there is allegedly there's no proof behind that. But if we go ahead and talk about that, then you
People
got to ask
accept
yourself other things. If they can say and make it regular, make it past that,
Make it make sense.
make it make sense.
It goes back. What we was talking
Oh, that
about.
make it make sense.
If they can try to, because they're trying to, then you can say that there's a pedophile gene.
Right. It's coming. Nigga, it's coming.
Then you can say that there's a
Oh, that's already here. That's right.
murderous
They got
gene.
organizations,
A
nigga.
person who,
NAMBLA.
yeah, I told
North
him,
American Man Boy Love
Association.
This shit don't sound sick. Don't sound crazy to y'all.
What's that?
What you mean?
Then it's like you meet people and it's like, nigga, I get it. It's like, man, you get it too. Like, fuck, man. Wow. Cause I be like, fuck, man.
Yeah, when you really
Make a
think,
nigga drink and shit. Like, oh, all right. I get it. Fuck.
all right. So what we saying? What are we not live yet?
He's saying what he's saying. He's saying what he's saying. Yeah, that's how it be.
Oh, so we live?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on, man. For real, you get it? I get it. It's like, oh, all right. You say so. Fuck.
So where we ended up, we was given similarities to different systems of what could happen.
What are you talking about?
So
I don't know either.
where was we at? We was at the.
That's what I'm thinking.
We was at the.
We talking about the.
You tell me.
The 5. We said something about. Oh no.
We was at the
shots and
yeah, the metals.
right.
How the metals
So
react to frequencies.
boom. So I said we was talking about animation and how they could use one system to make it seem like it's
Animation.
good in one aspect, and the benefit that could be for one group of people and what could impact another. So now with that with the shot, let's just say that they inject or they use these frequencies to control in a different system something that could be in a body or in a form.
You fucked me up with the animation.
And then that form or that system can create a own form within the avatar by itself.
And that nigga been saying that cartoons for all this time. He was saying, what you say, a comic book.
We are the avatars that are hosting the system. That could be a reality.
So it's like, you know, to put the background. It all leads to one thing, and it's like, fuck, something got to happen. Something crazy. This shit crazy. Like they just using us and shit. And
My pop was saying that shit, wasn't he? On the phone, something gotta happen.
Warm water?
But he was talking more.
about what?
He was talking more on the political thing, though.
Happened like what? Democrat and shit.
Yeah, he was talking more on the political thing when he was talking about it, though. This is neutrality. Neutrality? Naturality?
It's not natural.
What is it? Right, it's not natural. Neutrality?
Right now, I can't think of the word, but to put us a part of a system where we can't, you're not in control of that.
And then we was just talking, man, like, is that like we was talking about The Walking Dead. Is that The Walking Dead? Like, you done, is it filling your body with? I know it sounds crazy how I'm saying it. I know he about to say something, but it sounds crazy, but it's like, with the graphene.
You already have a system naturally that's based in you that protects you. You have a secondary and a primary system. There's stuff that our bodies are already controlling without us knowing. Our nervous system works without us knowing. It exists. Your lungs, your metabolic structure always is running without thought.
What about a Neuralink? The Neuralinks, how that work?
It's working. Your neural system within your brain is working without thought. These are all systems that are working without you knowing. It's there already.
So we was just talking. We was just talking about how that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
How that shit work. Like,
How?
a neural system. Who's gonna allow that? Who's gonna allow that? Who was you saying? You said
It's being created.
the people less impoverished. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna trying to eat with all the new systems. They're already doing it with the wrist and everything, right? That's what you were saying.
I mean, what's more important? In different systems, there's things that are more important for us to live and to succeed and survive. You can't survive without food. You can't survive without water. The other resources is, I think housing is the fourth on that list. And realistically, it's people might put different things in the head of it, but really the most important is information. Information is on the top of the list in my in my standpoint. Without information, you don't do anything. Information is first, then after information it's resources, it's food, water, something else I can't think of, shelter, and things of that nature. But information is the most important.
That's,
But
but information is changing every day too. Through these devices. How do you, I mean, you know, how we supposed to navigate through this shit? It's,
naturally,
sometimes, a lot of times, I try not to pay no attention, but
it's very simple.
it's hard not to pay no attention. When you're trying to accomplish something.
You navigate it very simply. You navigate it like how Jesus would walk. That's how you navigate it. You navigate it through the natural way, the natural order of things. That's it. Just you don't do.
What that look like in 2023? Like, what that look like?
Being more self-sufficient.
Versing these devices.
Being more self-sufficient, not
Necessarily not using them, but
right now. I'm not
flipping it.
In more ways. We need to be more people as in general. I'm not talking about like just one race or one group of people. I'm talking about people as in a whole. The person who's a farmer is being obsolete. They can sustain on their own by themselves. They don't need to be a part of a grid system. A lot of people are a part of a grid system where other people have the control of the system. That's why I feel they want to get rid of remote areas. They want to pull you to the cities. They want to have you more relied on their systems. Because comply to their systems because that's where the control lies. And this system of fear is what is helping the powers that be or their agenda or however you want to word it in their order. You not knowing, you know what the natural order of what they claim something that's supposed to be good for you, how is it supposed to operate. If you don't understand it, they will tell you it's not new science. The vaccine takes this much blah time, and we tested on these animals, and they did none of that. They emergency rolled it out and controlled a whole bunch of people through fear and said, this is what you gotta do. I feel. And now allegedly, and now you are part of systems where, as they claim new variants of something that was man-made and created and released in a part of the world, and now everywhere, you have to guard up against a biochemically computerized system, allegedly, that could be in your body by accepting certain pathogen shots in your system. And as you get more of them, you could be completing a whole alphabet to make it work. And for you to be your own self-generating system of this certain type of virus. And then ultimately, allegedly give it to other people. but destroying yourself tear by tear by tear.
That sound like a damn movie. That sound like a movie, man. It sound just like
If everybody died at
damn
once,
that
then we
movie.
would know.
You know
It's
that
not. It's not built for that.
say that again.
It's built to destroy you tear by tear. I believe. If it was happening all at one time, everybody would know what's up. People are listening to their sources of information and saying, this is what I need to do to survive, or this is what I need to do. And some people got the most stupid reasons. I want to travel. I want to go on vacation. I literally have people tell me that. Like, I want to go on. I don't want to. I had my goal for 2013 to go to Maui. So they wanted to get this stuff in them that they don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't know. Where's the ingredients? Where was the size? Literally, there was people of the cloth telling people it was okay to do this and God will forgive you. Like, what? What do you mean? They sell what? Cells of other human DNA in it. And, you know what I'm saying? Different engineered structures of disease that was viruses that were also created, like HIV and AIDS and all these different things that they have in these systems to hijack your natural body system to protect you and to deplete your
what do you
protective
think about,
system.
So, I mean, just to spin off that a little bit, I might be getting off a little off subject, but what do you think about organ transplants?
Could be good. I mean, you know, natural organ transplants is good, saves lives. But
Why you say natural?
I think they're selling hope. I don't think it's about saving lives. I think it's about hijacking.
Is it a possibility that that they could be creating organs and putting them in people?
Yeah. They're trying to create nano.
Oh, you look like that over there, man.
They're trying to create nanotechnology
Small
organs.
potatoes.
That's small? Wow, a created organ with its own
Computerized organ.
with its own self.
What you mean, like an ear grown on a rat type shit?
Like a what? An air?
Yeah, like they used to grow ears on a rat
Oh.
and give it to people.
I'm just saying, it could be even something small as like a location.
No, I'm talking about making actually creating a lung.
Yeah, I'm sure they could do that. In the
Huh?
lab and shit.
Can you grow a lung?
I see why not.
Nanotime.
They got stem cell research where they take a cell and they incubate it and
Do
grow
what they
it.
want.
You know, they've already made animals that are cloned species and stuff like that. They got dogs that's like that. They can't reproduce. Why would you create something like that? What is the end game to that?
Control.
Is it gonna help us? I mean, it is mind-blowing when you think about it. But
Yeah, it's diabolical, man.
Man, this shit fucked up. That made me think about a lot, man. Like,
allegedly, if they have systems that can be controlled, automated through waves, where something can form in you to create a different organization or organized system within your own cells, within your own body. It's
that made me think about a lot. That's all I know.
Tiny robots.
We definitely gonna have to do this again, man, cause we really came with some. we got a lot of to cover on this one, so we're gonna have to do this one again if you don't mind.
you know.
And we definitely appreciate you coming by. You know, if you need your electrical work done on your whatever, give my man a call.
Fuck.
Coming soon.
Yeah, give my man a call, and we appreciate you coming. And any last word, Raleigh, my co-host, Black Boom Apparel, you feel me? So, any last word? No last word. This is Muddy Water.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, you got any last word? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm here to, if I can, make wiring and electrical systems more safe for communities, for the people that are within the communities, and there's a way by doing it. That's all.
What? Like how?
Just like how we're saying, we go back
To wires. So
a wired system that we already using.
you think people are receptive to that?
Some people already
Like
have
headphones and shit?
headphones, wired headphones. You could go back to that. People use it. I worked out in the gym. Every day I was working out in the gym, I had wired. I never had no Bluetooth. I had wired headphones straight from the phone. You don't even need that. You don't even need it straight from the phone. If you had a external hard drive, they used to have recorders. They have music. You download your music onto a hard drive PCP that you can play it, jack the headphones in it, and boom, you set to go. There is a way to do it. There's a way to be more safe where you don't need the Wi-Fi
That's really what niggas
waves.
gotta do.
That's realistically what we got to do to be more safe. But Wi-Fi is about Wi-Fi and the waves, 5G, all the G series is about convenience for the people, and in other ways, it's about security and control for other people, and it's about technology for other people. So it depends on what entities we're talking about. There's many entities in this. But there's a safer way to do it.
Yeah.
It's good we got somebody out there like that. And I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate the conversation and the education on it. My man, Joe, that came through.